So here's progress. I've actually plumbed that in now. Well, it's not actually fixed. I've not tightened that up or any of this, but I've made that junction pipe there. I've made a 90-degree connection there on the end of that pipe. So that's now connected to the pump up to there, or it will be. What I'm going to do next, before I go any further, which is actually a bit of a project, I've got a bung on there. I'm going to bung these. I'm going to put that on there, put the valves in. I'm going to take that off of there. I'm going to put the water gauge in. I've got a bung there. I'll put the other clack valve on there. And I'm going to put some compressed air in it and try and run it, because that's done. And then I'll obviously get this done, smoke box on, and see if I can run it on compressed air. And then the last thing I'll have to do, well, the next thing I'll have to do is to plumb all this up. So, and I just thought I want to see it running. I haven't seen it running for a long time. And then when I did that, I put the compressed air straight into there, but I can't do that now. I suppose I could, couldn't I? Take that off. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to check everything out, check it for leaks and everything. So I was going to take this, I can take that off of there. And it says that's a 1/2 inch by 26, 1/2 inch by 26 thread. And I thought, right, well, I'll do my thread cutting then. That'll be a good exercise. I'll try that. But my bloody lathe won't do 26 TPI. And on forums they say, oh, if you do 1 millimeter or something, one mil thread, it's a 25 point something, it's close. And I thought, yeah, I'm not prattling about. So this was in the tub with the loco. This old manifold, I mean, look at it, it's a mess. A couple of bits on here, but it's all soldered up badly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it off there. I'm going to cut it off there and use that as a bung. I'll bung that up with something. See what it's like when I've got it off. I'll bung that up and use that. I'm not messing about. It'll just be handy. So let's get on with that. So here it is. Look, in the lathe, cleaned up. Now that hole, I was looking into that hole, staring into that hole I was. It's just bigger than 7.2, so it's too big for 5/16. So I was thinking of doing it 3/8 and making a plug, which I don't know. I'll have a look and see if I could do that on my thread cutting exercise. But then I had a look around and look what I found. I looked in my box of bits that came with the loco, and I've actually got 4 safety valves. So for the purpose of this exercise, I could just screw one of them in there. So that's something I don't need to do. So what I'm going to do now then is have a go at fitting this gauge glass. Gauge glass in there, clack valve in there, plug that properly, and then do the smoke box, etc. Also have a look at, see if it's a good time to fit this, so I don't have to start undoing everything to put that on. Anyway, progress. Well, would you believe it? Look at that. Steady the camera. Steady the camera. No filing needed. But what I am going to do now is I'm going to make a plate to go across here, because there's only, 8BA bolts to go in there, and those holes are too big. So I'm going to make a plate to dress the front of that. I'm going to do it now before I go any further. So as a brief aside, I haven't done much to the loco at all, but I keep going on about kit. Now I've been buying more kit, and this has just come today. This very day. Box. And it is a set of parallels from Temu. Now I did look around for some because I saw Blondie Hacks. Hi, I'm Quinn from Blondie Hacks. And she was on about parallels, about being useful. And I had a look, and the only others I could find were ARC Eurotrade in Syston, which is just up the road from me. And they'd got a smaller set of about 8, which are about £8. And they don't do the store anymore, so I can't nip up there and fetch them, although they're only just up the road. So I've got to post them, and that would be about £12. These were 22. So 8, instead of 8, I've got a full set of all different sizes for £22, and it's just took a few days to come. So I'm going to unpack them and tidy them up, but they're all different sizes. I've got some thin ones there and obviously some bigger ones there. And this case looks like it's graded to put them all in. So I've just got to sort that out. The other thing I've been buying is this load of packing, because it's come from Germany. Now, what happened was I was looking for a keyless chuck for the mill, and this came up, and it was a tenner, £10.18 plus £7 delivery, because it's coming from Germany. And the thing is, it only goes up to 6mm, and I thought, well, that's a bit small. But the thing is, I only do a lot. I don't do much above 6mm, and I've got the other chuck anyway. If I do big stuff, so I wanted something a bit of precision. Now, it's made in Germany, and it's come from Germany. So, what do you think of German engineering? I can't get that out. German engineering, you'd expect it to be really good, and I'm hoping it is. And it's not took long to come here. It's M12. That says 3/8 MT. It's MT3 to fit the spindle. So I've got to screw that in there. But I'm going to dial it up and see how accurate it is. So I'm going to do a test on the milling machine and that to see how accurate it is. So stand by for that. There you go. Look, they all look nice and neat, but they flop about. But they're all nicely done in this moulded case, and it's all fitted, because you've got that size, which it says is 1/2 inch. It's all imperial, up to that size, and everything in between. And they're the thin ones. I don't know what they'll be in. Something 332s, I think they said they were. That one is 1 11/16. That's a big one. So yeah, let's test this drill. Worth having the two for a variety, I think, don't you? Right, here's me test, and I'm trying to be fair to the thing. So I'm testing the quill of the mill first, and I've already done it, to be honest. I've done it by hand very carefully, and that is perfect. That's okay. But I'm going to run the machine, and then you'll see it vibrating a little bit, and then I'm going to test it on this drill. Now, I know, to be fair, I should have a ground gauge pin, but I don't have one. It's dead simple. So I've got one of my best drills, out of my best set, and I'm going to rely on that. So, and I'm very impressed with this fine thread in here. I mean, it is spot on for a precision, so far, spot on for a precision chuck. It's a very fine thread, so it doesn't just tighten up on anything quickly. So yeah, here goes. Not bad. I would have expected it to be perfect, though. Oh, I'll turn it by hand. It's about halfway. Yeah, I suppose that'll do. Well, it has been a while, hasn't it? I've been distracted by a guitar, which I'm doing as a project, and I'm filming, and a repair to my space heater, my little devil. But I haven't got it on at the minute because I'm filming, and it's cold. It's 5 degrees C in here at the minute. I've just come in. I hope you appreciate that, or I sacrifice for the sake of filming. Anyway, what I was going to do, I'm confessing to a mistake. Along here, I wanted to put in the blowdown valves, and I've got to lift the back of the boiler to do that. So I thought what I'll do is I'll I'll bolt the smoke box in. And I've said before, these little 8 BAs or 10 BAs, I think they're 8s. Anyway, the heads on them are just under 5mm, and these are 4mm, these holes. So what I was going to do was make a little plate to make it neater. Little plate like that, so that these bolts didn't look so silly because you couldn't see the hole around the head of the bolt like that. But basically I've made this and I've got the hole spacing wrong. They don't line up in the middle. The two, they do, and they do, but the one in the middle doesn't. Somehow it's 3mm out. But that's my fault, that's stupidity. But I'll show you what I've done and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So what I did was to draw these on CAD as I can, which I thought was the right spacing, but obviously I measured it wrong. So I drew that, printed one off like that, stuck it to a piece of metal, and then cut it out. And to be fair, I wasn't too accurate with my centre punching either. So the holes are not perfectly in line. Wouldn't have mattered. I would have accepted it if the hole spacing had been right. So I thought, right, what I'll do then, this time I'm going to do something different. Where's my bit of metal? What I'm going to do is I've done a drawing. Instead of printing them out, I've done a drawing with the dimensions on properly. I'll show you how I measured it. I've got this set of drills which I bought ages ago, which I use for gauging as well as drilling, obviously. So it goes from 1mm to 10 in 0.1 increments, and some are bust, look. But I measured the hole and I found that they were 4mm. So there's a 4mm. And what I did was I put a 4mm in there. Oh look, there's a 4mm already there. Where did that come from? And I put a 4mm in there, and then I measured the outsides and deducted 4. And then I stuck that one in there and I measured the outside and deducted 4. And then I stuck that one in there, measured the outside and deducted 4. And the two sides were slightly different, which is why there's two drawings. So that's why it should be more accurate this time, unless I have cocked up yet again. Right, so having measured it and done the drawing, more accurately I hope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to blue this, or if this is a piece of metal I'm going to use, I'm going to do it with engineer's blue, and then I'm going to bolt it onto the... So having blued it, I'm going to use the DRO to do the spacing in the holes. So I'll drill the holes in the right spacing that way. And then what I'm going to do, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have it bolted down, obviously. I'm going to use some sharp object, possibly the center drill, and I'm going to put it on there and I'm going to scratch the outside dimension on it. For instance, it's 8mm. It's 8mm wide, the plate is, so it'll already be in the center for the hole. So move it back 4mm, scratch a line, move it forward 8mm, scratch another line. It should have a plate marked out. What do you reckon? Chances of. It's crept up to about 7 or 8 degrees. I've been in here a while. But it's freezing. I've been in here a while now. I've got that heater on. I've got 1 bar on that one. But my little devil's run out of gas. So I'm freezing my nellies off in here. But anyway, that's not what it's about. What I'm doing now is I've done this, look. I've got there. I mean, it's not painted, obviously, and it'll smarten up a bit, but it's better than having those misfitting holes, isn't it? So a bit of paint on there and that'll look all right. So let's see if I've got enough video for an update.